Ben, you know The Witcher doesn't have a meat cleaver. He has a sword, right?
This is all he had in Power Man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not... Isn't that from Game of Thrones? That wig?
This?
The hair? Yeah, that's not The Witcher, mate. That's from Game of Thrones.
This is £40 for Amazon.
Even had off. What is that on your head?
You just fucking wrecked the video. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you enjoyed that rather dramatic intro and still wondering what this video is about and haven't seen The Witcher, how would you describe The Witcher?
And they call me a witcher.
How would you describe The Witcher?
He's a big man with white hair.
Okay, so if you've never seen it before, it's basically Lord of the Rings, but The Witcher is probably the sickest, shittest series I've ever seen. Sum it up, would you say? Agree?
Yeah, it's good. It's terrible, but it's like you can't.
It's terrible, but you can't stop watching it. But basically, the guy who plays The Witcher, which is Henry Cavill, if I'm saying his name correctly, is the guy who played Superman, and he's basically mega jacked. So here's a photo of him somewhere here in The Witcher. He's in fairly good shape, really built guy. And today we are going to be training like The Witcher.
With you.
I'm training like The Witcher pretty much. I'm not going to give too much away about that yet. One thing that I was reading that he did for the movie was I'm not going to be doing his food intake today because I've started dieting, and he basically just eats roast chicken, potatoes and curry sauce. Now, I like curry, but it makes me smell like a mouldy tea bag, and it makes the toilet look like a 5-year-old oil painting all the time. So I'm not going to be doing the curry diet, I'm going to be sticking to my own diet. He also has pizza and burgers whenever he wants to for the week. Doesn't sound like a bad diet. However, one of the very stupid things naughty man Henry, he does is he water depletes before each scene. I've been reading. For several days before he'll start water depleting, so his skin is really tight and sits on his muscles in the scenes requiring him to be shirtless.
Sorry, do you guys stir fry for later?
So now it's almost stir fries in the middle of the video.
That thing in tinfoil.
Yes, that's my stir fry. And so basically, water depletion requires, when I did my competition a few years back now, going way back, I'd drink loads of water for a few days and then deplete for a short period of time where I consumed minimum amounts of water. This for a competition, you have to be mega lean for even notice the difference. So for someone who's sitting at Henry body fat for playing The Witcher, he's not going to see an awful lot of bang for his buck. So I think it's just a pretty wankerish move. Sorry, Henry. He even said that he felt knackered, was hungry, tired, and was dehydrated, and the last thing he wanted to do was train, and he could smell water nearby by the end they'd done it. Sorry. However, the routine that I'm going to go through today, Henry Cavill and his trainer have said it was both for aesthetics-based purposes. Obviously we can tell because he's in really good shape, but the reason was for function. So because if you watch The Witch, he's doing a lot of scenes like where he's sword fighting, dead, and where he's doing a lot of his own stunts. He had to be very mobile, very powerful, especially for his posterior chain, his hamstring, which is where a lot of the explosive power comes from, believe it or not. So without further ado, enough of my ramblings, let's get to the gym. And like magic, we're here. So we're going to be doing the Witcher workout today. From what I've read, he does a lot of time under tension work so that he doesn't gas the central nervous system. So we're going to be doing RDLs first, but we are doing it with LD's favourite little hip circle. We've got one here. Here we go. So we're going to be doing one of the micro school bands, of course. Sort of plug. And first we're going to be doing a quick warm up with them. You know, that kind of warm that girls do, where they do a little.
exercise of the full body workout is going to be, we're doing all the L's, but obviously we're doing using the hip circle ones. Now, I've never done these with a hip circle before, so I feel like a bit of a hobo doing it. But it's going to be a posterior chain movement. Our main point that we want to get is hip hinge. So generally when people are doing all the L's, they'll just use the lower back and bend the back. What we want to do is push these hips right back as much as we can, and then use the glutes to come forward and through. When we are using the hip band circle, we're going to be hitting more of the glute medius. Yes, got it. So we're going to crack on. Going for 4 times 8 to 12 reps on this one.
Hey, check it. Hey, check it. Put the place up.
Do you know what? A hip circle is fuck all, you know. A hip circle does nothing. I don't know why you use it on all the L's. I don't use a hip circle very often, but I just didn't feel it on that. And with all the L's, the other thing you want to remember is your eyes down all the time. Don't bring your head up to look at yourself, no matter how sexy you look. And the other thing, you want to keep that spine in neutrality as well through the whole movement. So I'm going to finish up with another 3 sets, and then we'll jump on to what's the next exercise? The next exercise we've got is hyperextensions, which is different to, we've seen us do 45-degree hypers before. It's slightly different movement, so we're going to be doing what we're doing, 3 times 10 reps with a 2-second pause at the top. Now, with hyperextensions, we want to try and keep a flat back, not keep any arching like we will do a 45-degree hyper because it is hip-centric. We want to keep the pad at the hips. We don't want any hyperextending, so I'll give Lucy my phone. Now all we're going to do is come down, right down to the bottom, and coming up into neutral. So hyperextension would be coming all the way back. We don't want to do that because it puts too much pressure on the lower back. We just come up to neutral, 2-second hold. One of the things that I saw Henry Saval do on the workout video was he's keeping his hands behind his head, which obviously puts a little bit more pressure on the upper back and makes it a little bit more difficult. You can hold the weight whilst you're doing it as well, it's completely up to you.
Put the place up.
That's another posterior chain movement, so I felt that with the hamstrings again. You hear that? Next exercise we've got is oblique static hold in 3 sets for 30 seconds. I fucking hate training abs.
What's an oblique static hold?
I'll show you now. It's the most boring exercise you ever see. It's like watching paint dry, literally. So this is going to work the obliques and the transverse abs. The only thing I ever usually do is hang in leg raise for abs a little bit at the end of some sessions, so can't wait. Now he's watching me 30 seconds to this. Oh shit.
That's boring, that.
Yeah. I'd rather do leg raise, something more different. I mean, I can feel it through my obliques, but you have to be holding for some time to even feel it. Not about that. Next exercise is going to be a 3-way shoulder raise. So I've never done this one before, but a bit more excited because you get a little bit of a shoulder pump on. So we're going to do 3 times 15 reps this one. So Henry Saval talks about, he does a shoulder range to control the rep range through different patterns or different planes of movement. So it's going to be a lateral raise into like between a lateral raise and a front raise, and then into a front raise to work the lateral and the anterior deltoid. So with this one, he was talking about saying he does it because he's doing a lot of sword fighting. Keep it clean. He does a lot of sword fighting, so to get better control for the deltoids and better stability. So we're going to go 3 times 15 reps with this one. With the movement itself, what I always like to try and picture is, as I'm setting up, is scapula back and down. And we want to keep the elbows leading the movement and not coming any higher than like shoulder height. And we don't want to be shrugging it up, so we don't want to come in there and using the trap to get it up. We want to use all deltoids.
breaking bones and breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up if you slipping. Put another smile like it was the last Christmas. Hey.
That's the first exercise, that's actually burned. Quite like that. Might add that into the old arsenal. Final exercise is half iso alternating dumbbell curl. So this one is obviously a bicep movement. We're doing static holds as well. So it's quite interesting because for most people I think biceps is like that sexy muscle that everyone wants. So if you want to try and get big massive thighs, then I quite like static holds and doing some iso stuff. Again, Henry talks about working time under tension, peak contraction, and again because he's a bit of a naughty man, he's talking about when he's doing some sword fighting. Again, it's quite taxing on the forearms, so whenever we're doing static holds, obviously we're going to be putting more tension on the forearms, so we've got to hold that whilst doing a bicep curl. So we're going, I think it's 3 times 10 on this one, so let's blow out the biceps.
Put the place up, yeah we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo, I'm a chaser. Face up, now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego I'ma take her. Shaker, yeah she was a born shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife.
So that is the end of the full body workout. I'd probably say unless you are a full-time sword swinger or riding horses for a living, probably just leave this one alone. It's not the best full body workout I've done, don't feel too taxed at the end of it. However, if you would like a decent set of workouts to follow, head over to my Instagram page, which is @mycoachbenji. I'll pop it up somewhere here, and also drop it in the description box below. I basically put workouts up pretty much every single day. Of course, as always, if you enjoyed and liked this video, give it a massive thumbs up. And if it's your first time visiting my channel, then make sure you subscribe. Somewhere down here is the button with the little bell and stuff on. Just make sure you tap that.